Doing a little audio test here before episode 156 starts. Siobhan checking in. Thanks for watching, Siobhan. We're going to talk about Veterans Day, blockchain distribution, and this goddamn Epstein cover-up. All right. And Cookie's Clown Show's checking in.
See y'all soon.
Gratcast 156.
We are back at our normally scheduled time.
The beard is gone, but the Epstein conspiracy is alive and well.
I'm very happy about the beard being gone. Look at the whole
I'm
face.
not,
There's his face again, everyone.
I don't look like a filmmaker without a beard. That's exactly what the problem is.
That's a stereotype.
You made me cut off my identity.
No, I didn't, Samson.
Oh.
You're perfectly fine without it. In fact, you're smoother, and you don't have bear hair in your beard. Yeah. That was a big issue. That was a very big issue, especially now with bears shedding.
I'm not going to start the show out with a whole bunch of self-depreciation, but, you know, the beard balances things out a little bit here. But it's Veterans Day here on Gratcast.
Yes, it is. Happy Veterans Day.
I mean, is Veterans Day supposed to be a happy day?
It's a happy day for remembering everyone who's gotten you this far, every family member, every friend, every member of your community.
Did you have any direct family members that served?
Yeah. My dad, my two uncles, my grandfather.
Your dad did?
Yeah, my dad was drafted during Vietnam, but he was lucky enough to be sent to Germany and keep an eye over there. But yeah, he has. Now we're running into bullet blitzes. All right.
Okay, we won't get too far into that.
Don't tread on my bullet blitz.
My grandfather, and I guess what would be your great uncle, is that your grandfather's brother?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My grandfather's brother served in World War II, I believe, and my grandfather was because my grandfather was like a change of life baby, so there was like a 20-year gap between him and his youngest brother.
Korean War?
No, he was a drill sergeant. Grandpa Bone, he was a drill sergeant.
For which war?
Well,
Or
he trained him to
during
go...
a peaceful time?
Well, I don't think he actually...
Like, there was generally a time where we were just at war. Like, if
Well,
you were
yeah,
in,
we've
you
always
didn't
been,
get to
but,
stay
yeah.
home. You were off somewhere.
But as far as I know, he was a drill instructor. He trained him to go over there and do all of that. And he was a bit of a hard ass at times.
I could see that.
Oh, yeah.
But, he demanded respect.
He was heartbroken when I didn't join the military.
You do not have the attitude for it.
So, he this was the advice he gave me. He's like, listen, he's like, all the other ones, you get up at 6 in the morning in the pouring rain and run through the mud. Nobody wants to do that shit. I don't blame you. You go in the Air Force, it's first class all the way. You stay in hotels. You don't do any of that happy horse crap.
Maybe back in the day.
So I was sold on the Air Force. Plus, I wanted to be a fighter pilot because I was obsessed with Top Gun back in the day. And I still think I would have been a sweet fighter pilot, dear. But so I took the ASVAB test, took the military test, crushed it. And they're like, oh, you can have any job you want in the military. And I'm like, well, I want to be a fighter pilot. And they're like, all right, well, you got to join the Navy. I'm like, what do you mean I got to join the Navy? I want to fly planes, Air Force. They're like, yeah, but you land on aircraft carriers, and the aircraft carriers are controlled by the Navy. So in order to land on aircraft carriers, you have to be in the Navy. And in order to fly a plane, you have to be able to land on aircraft carriers to be a fighter pilot. So you got to join the Navy if you want to be a fighter pilot.
I feel like Top Gun was about the fighter pilots, and they were not part of the Navy.
I think that is the Navy division.
Are you sure?
Yeah. When I thought back on it,
I think we all need to rewatch Top Gun just to double check that, because otherwise that is totally messed up our minds.
See, look. Kooky Carl's Clown Emporium says I look like a milk dud without
I think it's the
beard.
white shirt, though. The white shirt doesn't help you at all.
No. It's the lack of hair up here and down here. It starts getting...
You don't need the giant bushy hair right there. I like it like this. It's much better.
Yeah, no.
It's much better. He has like a mouth. Before it was like all hair with just a hole in the middle.
So anyway, once I found out I had to go on a submarine for 6 months as part of the Navy... or at least that's what I was under the impression I would have to do before I could try to fly planes. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't do claustrophobia. That's not happening. I can't even do a plane.
So
3 hours in a sub, just far enough to get out to sea. I'd be going nuts.
Talking about nuts, Dana and her daughter went to see William Fichtner's movie.
Whoa, we're skipping topics here.
No, we're going around.
Oh, we're skipping a bunch of topics here. That was going to
The next one I want to have a segue for a different part.
You can't do that because that's my segue into the Gratwick section.
I don't like that segue. I like my segue.
So, yeah, we can either talk about James Dean or we can talk about Harvey. Which one do you...
I don't know. Hey, you guys, you want to talk about James Dean first or Harvey? Because I kind of wanted to save James Dean for the end of this.
Why would it be at the end of this? No.
What do you say? James or Harvey?
No, it can't be.
It kind of sounds like a Batman question right there.
Listen, I scheduled the show. We've got beats here. We've got transitions. We need to stay on schedule.
Okay.
We're talking about James Dean.
So here's something that came out over the past couple days. And I wanted to talk about it when we did our special show on Wednesday because I just found it. But Kris wouldn't let me because if you all saw about
we touched on it briefly so we could get into it now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste time and dive in.
So apparently there is a movie coming out about a Vietnam action drama that they are going to CGI James Dean into.
Oh, of course. He's the only one that could play that part.
Of course. A dead character who only acted for about a good 5-7 years.
Can't
That's
say no.
the only person who could ever do it, even though he has never been in a situation like that.
So where's the line come now? Because you know all these people are like cultural appropriation and stuff, and you can't have a white person play an Asian person and all of that. Where's the outrage now going to be for having dead actors take living actors' roles?
Oh, it's going to get there. It's definitely going to get there. Because with James Dean, his family has, I guess, the rights to his likeness, and they've okayed it. They're exactly
enough time's gone by where they need to cash back in on that one.
And here's something from the CEO of CMG Worldwide. His name is Mark Rosler. He says this opens up a whole new opportunity for many of our clients who are no longer with us. Our clients who are no longer with us, who's their company, his company that he's the CEO of, controls the likenesses of Burt Reynolds, Christopher Reeves, Neil Armstrong, and many others.
And
not their families.
Do you want to know?
The company does.
Do you want to know how long they control them for?
What?
Do you want to know how long they control the rights for?
Ever.
In perpetuity.
Ever. Forever.
In
how?
Perpetuity.
That is even allowed for your talent agent and your agency to suddenly own your likeness as opposed to your family. Like, oh my God. Talk about it because I'm fucking, wow. It pisses me off. How is this possible, people?
This is a lot of the undertones of what Just Drive is about, in this sense where you get to a certain level of fame where you're worth more to the people around you, family, friends that might not even like you anymore.
This isn't even
your
family and friends.
But handlers, all of them, all these different people who are your legal kin or your rights holders, your managers, all of these types of people where you become worth more to them dead than alive, because dead you can't say no. You can't. Your moral code isn't going to get in the way of anything when you're dead. I want to sell you out to a Snickers commercial. You're going to dance. Your little CGI ghost is going to dance, motherfucker, and you're going to sell them goddamn Snickers.
So, you know what's crazy is this is very much like the movie Simone, and we brought this up before, the Al Pacino movie, where he's the producer who rents out a studio lot and just has a computer program.
Simone.
Yes, that's what I said, the movie Simone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say the name of it.
In case anyone else missed it at the beginning, Kris was sure to repeat it for you.
Simone.
But it's a great movie if it wasn't a reality or even right now being proved that you can 100% do this. 100%. You should all see the movie. And then Fear. Fear what is happening right now because people don't want to pay other actors because they don't want to have to actually worry about someone saying your stuff is crappy. Now they can just buy the likeness from a company for, what, $25,000?
We don't need no dead actor scabs stealing the living actors' jobs.
It's like getting the rights to a song, pretty much. You're going to a company and just, if you'll pay this fee, you can have their likeness and have them do whatever you want in there.
Well, I'm actually surprised, because it was quite a while ago now that they did the Tupac hologram concert, and I'm actually surprised that isn't more prevalent by now. So I guess that when you're actually in the room with the celebrity ghost, it's a little too creepy.
It's a little creepy.
That's where we draw the line. But if they're on TV,
it's great for Halloween. It's not so much. Yeah. Which that would be a great Halloween party. A hologram of like all your favorite musicians.
So not to totally go.
That'd be super cool.
Not to totally go rogue on this.
Rogue.
And this probably should be a bullet blitz, but I'm gonna drop this in right here. And it just has to be off the top of your head. There can't be no
Kool-Aid.
deep. There can't be no deep thought on this.
Oh wow.
If you could, as a filmmaker or a producer, have one dead actor star in your next movie, who would it be off the top of your head?
River Phoenix. Sensational. He was sexy when he died.
Well, I'm gonna blow your mind. George Burns.
When he was old, or when
absolutely when he was old.
Like when he's actually like right before he kicked it off, so he's extra wrinkly.
Yeah.
With the cigar.
What was the crazy?
18 again.
Yeah, it was 18 again. What was the crazy one? The crazy was in the title when they dropped the Coke can out the window or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I enjoyed him. He was a nice old
We need
man.
to have a George Burns marathon.
That would be fun.
All right.
You know, it'd lead to a Rodney Dangerfield marathon then after that, because they were like back-to-back brother. Like if one made a movie, the other one released it too during the 80s.
You know,
a lot.
You know what?
My childhood is surrounded by George Burns and Rodney Dangerfield.
You know what we've never gotten enough of? If you're talking about a totally underrated
Phil Collins
actor that's actually done a ton of shit behind the scenes that most people don't even know about. Christopher Lloyd. There is not enough Christopher Lloyd content out there.
Back to the Future, Camp Nowhere.
It's a handful.
Wasn't he on the Earl movies? You know what I'm talking about?
The Earl movies?
You guys know what I'm talking about.
The Earl movies?
Yeah, the Earl Goes to Christmas, Earl does...
Oh!
Yeah! Oh!
No, he wasn't in those.
Oh! Oh, you act like I'm fucking crazy because they made a TV show about that dude named Earl, and now you think I was talking about that like that actually is anything.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, it was Ernest.
See? But you still knew what I was talking about as soon as,
It was Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest Goes to Jail.
But wasn't Christopher Lloyd in those?
No. He may have got a producer credit or something. I don't know. But no. Christopher Lloyd wasn't in that. Either way, there's not enough leading...
Adam's Family. Ooh, Siobhan did want to talk about James Dean first. See, good call.
Yeah, Adam's Family is a good call. He had a sweet role in that. All right, moving on. So, it wasn't last week's episode because that was the special content episode. But the week before that, we talked about Harvey getting publicly shamed.
Yes. Our favorite new comedian, Kelly Bachman. Yeah, she is.
So...
Stupid Harvey going into the artist for artist comedian group.
So
acting like he's okay to be there.
Okay. So we already talked about that. That's in the archives. What we're talking about now is Harvey was back out in public again, and the reaction was entirely different to what the comedians gave him.
I thought he was on house arrest.
No.
How is he not on house arrest? He's a predator.
Presumed innocent until proven guilty, even when you know they did it. Anyway. So the dude's out at some uppity bar, grill, restaurant, clubby place, and when I originally saw this story, there's this 30-year-old actress that had bit parts in movies and all that, was all dancing for him and trying to seduce him and sitting on his lap, all to part. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me! Like, how desperate can you possibly be to be that actress that's still kissing this guy's ass?
She's a stripper.
No, then I start thinking about it.
She's got to be a paid stripper.
No. She's not. She's probably not a stripper. I mean, maybe she is.
Like a high-class stripper. She can wear normal clothes. They're allowed to do that. Make it look nicer.
There's a lot of unfortunate things that go on with the actresses in certain levels of the industry. But more importantly, this plays out perfectly to a publicity stunt. Harvey was humiliated. Harvey had all this buzz around him with these actors, these comedians calling him out and talking shit right to his face in there. So to show everybody he's still got it and he's still the man, he had some actress willing to say yes and take the money, come out with him, go out, be seen, get the pictures taken. Is this girl dating Harvey? That was what all the buzz and all the questions were. And now everyone's like, I can't believe an actress is still hanging off Harvey. Which... I mean, how far are we removed from the world that he was supposedly removed from? He's still got bodyguards. He's still got the money to have pretty girls around him. He's still going out in public. The people that speak out about him are still getting thrown out of the room.
Restaurants are still allowing him in.
Why does
they don't have to let him in?
Why does he still have this much power? And we start talking about strings, and we're going to talk about Epstein here in a little bit and all of that. What rooms was Harvey in? Well, what circles did he travel in? We know what he was up to. There had to be other guys that he liked to play with, and there's got to be a lot of information and a lot of things he knows. So how much consequences are really going to become to him if all he has to do at the end of the day is say, fuck me, fuck you guys, and I'll just start talking? So it seems to me like there's a vested interest in letting him just fade into the background a little bit, still have your money power, act like a big shot.
Let your brother open up a production company with your favorite publicist who covered up everything for you for years. You can come back in a few years and everyone will be fine with it. No worries, big brother Harvey.
David Stay agrees. The whole thing was a setup. Again, at first I was like, what woman would willingly do this and willingly put herself in that position and be that perception? And then you start thinking about it and realize there's probably already a paycheck in it. She didn't have to do anything outside of the club or whatever. He just wanted his pride and his ego.
He could be one of those creepy Craigslist people who puts on there, just looking for someone to come out with me on the town. I'll pay you $3,000 cash. There'll be no sex, but you have to act like you're into me. And, those, they're up all the time. And he's exactly what you would expect to see, though. If you answer that ad, how he looks is what you pretty much figure if someone's willing to pay you a couple grand just to go out in public with them.
I just can't imagine taking that gig, even for the dancing, just okay, I'll go to the club and dance with you.
I don't think you'd even know that it was him. Like the thing is, he's so looking, you wouldn't recognize him because you don't pay attention to that face.
Recognize him immediately.
There are a lot of girls in LA who do not follow Twitter enough.
For this actress, she's 30 years old. She was in. She had a bit part in a Mark Wahlberg movie. She's in the industry. She knows exactly who he is. So
now let's look into the Mark Wahlberg, Harvey Weinstein connection. And see if Mark tossing I'm not going to start
throwing stuff at the wall, but what I would assume...
I'm saying check that out.
What I would assume is, I'm going to guess her representation probably told her, you're going to go and do this. You're absolutely going to go and do this. And she might have pissed and moaned and complained a little bit, but at the end of the day...
She did it.
Because I just, again, I can't see somebody having that little self-respect and be that hungry to have your name in the papers.
Oh, there are girls who are thirsty. Think about the girl who got all the guy who used to own the Clippers. Yeah. And now think of the girl that got followed around because she slept with him. That's what they're willing. That's what they're willing to put up with because they want that long and that much of attention. Like, she's gonna get something out of it. It's gross.
That's where the difficulty comes in implementing any kind of cultural change, because how are all the women that don't want to be preyed on, that don't want to be taken advantage of, that don't want to have to do certain things to get ahead, how are they supposed to compete when there's always going to be other girls who are completely willing to make that trade and cut those corners? That I just don't understand how you break that culture of...
You stop having dudes ask for it, and then you'll stop having girls give it up.
That's as unlikely as having girls stop saying it. This is the same thing I have my problem with having 23-year-old teachers teach 17-year-old or high school kids. Like, inevitably, it's going to happen. And when there's somebody that has...
We didn't even have substitute teachers that were that young.
When somebody has something that somebody else desperately wants, like in the history of man, the first thing that always gets traded is sex. Okay,
so you're going back to Buffalo.
Yeah, moving on.
Great segue.
I'm heading back to Buffalo in a couple weeks.
The land where the sex happens because it's already dark and cold by 4 p.m. Lots of babies.
You got to get the friction together to stay warm. So, December 6th to December 13th, I'll be back in Buffalo. Going to be meeting with the developers, going to be meeting with, ideally, hopefully some city officials, some other different people in the esports community. We're going to be having a town hall meeting December 11th. As of right now, it's going to be in Tonawanda, but we're waiting to see on how many people we have, because if it's over 30, we're going to have a different place.
Will there be cookies and hot chocolate and hot apple cider? I believe there should be.
There's.
If you're hosting a good one, everyone agree. If it's snowy and cold. Hold on.
There was going to be cookies. There was going to be water. There was going to be coffee. There was going to be pop. But hot chocolate could be. That one seems like a lot of logistical hurdles to
really?
To
you
pull
get the
hot
cups,
chocolate.
you get the mix, you have the little black straws.
This is in a church basement. I mean, it may end up at a church basement by the time it's all over. You think them big canisters?
Either who. They can mix coffee with the hot chocolate if they want. Yeah, you get
the big Alcoholic Anonymous canisters for. Yeah,
one coffee and one just hot water.
Heading back to Buffalo. Anyone that wants to know more about Gratwick, anyone that's interested in what we're doing, anyone wants to know how we're going to get this arena built in Western New York.
Is the town hall going to be live streamed?
I don't know yet. I would err on the side of probably, if I was a betting person.
Or will it be recorded and then possibly released after the fact so that you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi, but people can all see it?
Banana Yam, it's funny you bring up Keemstar. Keemstar is actually from Buffalo, and we've got some feelers out there that are working their way towards Keemstar, including someone that's potentially in his camp that we're hoping to gradually get to him and have him be one of the people that helps bring this esports arena to Buffalo. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head with the big name in Buffalo when it comes to esports and social media.
So you were heading to Buffalo.
David's giving me shit about pop. Yeah, it's absolutely
Soda.
pop. Why would you have an extra letter and an extra syllable? That's just insanity. Soda. 4 letters, 3 letters.
Soda sounds nice.
No, it doesn't. It sounds
Soda
like bubbly
or pop?
water. That's what soda sounds like. Soda water.
What do you think it came from?
That's why I don't want to be reminded of it. You want to talk about the real psychopaths, the ones that call every single variation of pop Coke. Okay, Coke. These people in the South, everything's a Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how am I supposed to know what kind of pop you want when everything's a damn Coke?
Because they're asking for a soda.
Okay.
Maybe they're why we have all the different flavored Cokes.
So as we're moving forward and digging deeper into Buffalo, we're starting to recruit some volunteers, some new teammates, some new team members. And one of them that's joined the team is a lovely lady named Dana.
Cool.
Dana has a couple different kids that are in different varying degrees of the entertainment industry. She's got a young daughter that I think's like 10 that does auditions and has had small parts and things like that. And Dana loves the idea of a transparent, ethical studio in her backyard.
Who doesn't?
So her children don't have to run off to Hollywood and roll the dice with whatever the hell they're going to find out here.
Mm-hmm.
So Dana's jumped on board the team. We're so glad to have her on board. She's got an awesome background. We've got a couple other people that have joined the team, like Jennifer Levine, who just shared the video. So thank you for that, Jennifer. But Dana came up with a plan this week, Andrea. I don't know if you knew this, but to be a secret agent on behalf of Gratwick with a mission to get a message to one William Fichtner.
Ooh.
Yes. William Fichtner, for those who don't know, if you see him, put their poster up on here. Like once you see his face, you recognize him. He's been in ton of stuff. Yeah. So William Fichtner is the one on Andrea's side, and Kim Coates is one of the other who's from Sons of Anarchy, Sweet Sons of Anarchy. But William Fichtner, Colebrook was his directorial debut, and he shot it in Buffalo. Like three quarters of the speaking roles all went to Western New York actors and talent.
Yay, them.
And he went back and was screening the movie this weekend in, I believe it was the Aurora Theater, East Aurora, somewhere in Buffalo. He went back and had a screening. So Dana volunteered to go and buy tickets, go check out the movie, bring her daughter, and go to the meet and greet because both William Fichtner and Kim Coates were back in town for the screening. And she was able to get our press release in the hands of both William and Kim, told them all about what Gratwick's doing, what we're trying to do, and tried to recruit them to the team to see if they'll help spread the word. But, yeah.
Bravo,
yeah.
Dana. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana. Good job. Fantastic.
That's how the word's
Wonderful team member. Yay.
Yes, that's how the word's going to travel. That's how we're going to spread. That's the word, the mouth-to-mouth. Well, the Whoa. Did anybody else hear that coyote attack going on out there? It's a whole pack coming down the street. Whew. All right. So, you're lucky you're not out there, Bear. All right, let's move on to the Gratwick section here.
On to the Gratwick section.
This one's going to be real short this week.
Okie dokie, because last week it was all.
Yeah. I think you got to turn the camera on there, put us on screen, bring us back. Boom, there we are. Whew.
Magic. Magic, I tell you.
Might have thought we got taken by the coyotes. I hope you guys can hear this because it is loud. All right. So this week's update for the Start Engine campaign. Do we have the Start Engine thing there? Can we show the Start Engine? Boom. Is there a full moon out there? There's gonna be some werewolves running around if there are.
I don't know if that's exactly what you want, But I have structure and I have library.
All right. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
That's not what we're looking for. Okay. So if you go to gratwickproductions.com, it'll take you right to the Start Engine campaign, and you can see everything that's going on with Gratwick, what's happening, invest in the company, all that different stuff. And each week we're rolling out a different update that gives out more information on the company, what we're putting together, and how the whole plan and process is going to work. This week's update is going to be a breakdown on what a blockchain distribution app would look like. How it can serve as a storefront, how it can do video on demand, how it can do digital downloads, how it can do ad streamed content. Basically anything you would get from iTunes, Amazon, Hulu, Google
Kindle.
Play.
Kindle.
Kindle, yeah. Bookstore, all of that stuff in a digital content platform that's done through your own branded app. And the big thing here is everyone's like, okay, how are you guys going to get an app made that can do that? And it's going to take so long and all this, that, and the other thing. And why would you do that? The biggest reason why is because I'm just going to use iTunes as a blanket for all of them for the rest of this explanation.
Even though there's no more iTunes. They took it away.
The Apple Store, whatever. So, call me Gen X all you want. I'm calling it iTunes. So iTunes, to get your movie in there, they take 30% commission on that. Before anyone else, we're not going to deal with anybody else in the chain. So even if I direct sell to iTunes for their sales portal, they're taking 30% for nothing. They're not advertising my movie. They're not doing shit with my movie. So if I have to drive people to the same sales portal anyway, I got to tell you, hey, my movie's on iTunes. Hey, my movie's on iTunes. Hey, my movie's on iTunes. I might as well tell you my movie's on my portal, my platform. Come here. You can buy it cheaper. I don't have to pay a 30% commission on it. And I still make more money than I would if I went through iTunes and you paid more money for it.
And you're seeing more of our stuff as opposed to everybody else's in the world.
Everybody wins. The technology is available and commonplace enough now that everybody can have their own brand distribution portals.
It's going to be a lot easier to find, too. When you start to type in what you think the title is, you aren't going to have to guess amongst bajillions of other titles.
So the question becomes, well, how long does it take you to build a 100% zero commission distribution platform, get that up and running, and start to be generating content and stuff from that?
Pretty fair question.
It's a very fair question.
How long?
I think it's something that's going to be anywhere from 2 to 5 year process, and that the second half of that 5 year process is mostly grooming the audience and driving the advertising funnels towards the platform.
So before then, anything that we produce and distribute would go out on platforms that everyone knows. It wouldn't necessarily be on our platform alone, but we would keep it into every contract that once that platform is open, then people could put it onto our platform so they get all the extra perks of being a member there.
The difference is where you put your advertising dollars into guiding the audience to go to.
Okay.
So all the traditional sales portals, you still want to be available there, and you still want to have your content there. Like if you want to,
don't want to be exclusive.
If you want to pay twice as much to buy it in iTunes because you're more comfortable buying in iTunes, I'm still going to sell to you in iTunes. You're just going to pay a higher price for it. But my advertising dollars aren't going to be spent telling you to go to iTunes so I can make iTunes money. They're going to be spent telling you to go to our sales portal where it's cheaper for the customer and we get 100% of the revenue stream. The question becomes, how do you get 100% of the revenue stream before you have your own sales portal built and you have that entire infrastructure in place, because it's going to take a while to have developers build you something like that.
And how do you?
This is where the future is already here.
Superhighways?
No, not solar powered roads. Don't get me started on solar powered roads again.
They are the future.
They shouldn't be the future. They should already be now. Parking lots should be full of solar powered roads. They were passing that video around in 2011. I was showing it at the weed store the other day. Anyway, hit me with the logo, dear. Hit me with the logo. LBRY is a blockchain decentralized distribution platform that has no commission. You can sell for free in there, just like you could do like YouTube, where you upload your videos in there. People watch the videos for free, and everybody consumes the content. Or you can monetize it for as little as tenths of a LBRY coin, which at this point, LBRY tokens are worth like 8/10 of a penny. So like you can pick the fraction of the decimal that you want to charge as the price. So, like, I don't know, if you want it to be a $5 video on demand price or a digital download, you would calculate whatever that number translates out to in the coins and charge that much per view. But there's zero commissions. So everything can be distributed through there on your own channel, and you don't pay any commissions. There's no censorship. There's no governing over your content and how you distribute it through that platform. The only catch is that it's LBRY's platform. If for whatever reason LBRY goes down or the blockchain goes down or whatever, it's gone. So it's a stepping stone towards your own distribution platform. But in the meantime, until you start earning enough revenue to build that platform, LBRY exists to be the bridge that can get creators there with zero commission.
Cool. Much better than 30%.
That 30% is insane, especially once you start adding on sales agents and everything else on top of it.
Well, they take the 30% off the top, and then everyone else takes all this crap off the top. And yeah.
They offer nothing but competition. Everybody else's movies are in the same exact spot. Somebody can get distracted, go somewhere else. The 30% is absolute extortion.
I hear you.
All right. Speaking of extortion, let's move on to our next topic, dear.
Dun dun dun.
This motherfucker.
They say he's dead. Do you even believe he's dead?
Are
we ready to go back to that of people saying that it wasn't even his body and pointing out the pictures? Because I'm kind of at this point almost thinking he's not dead.
Banana Yams has a LBRY question, and Aaron Stevenson has a LBRY question.
Okay, let's talk about that first.
Drop us back on there. Let's get their questions in real quick.
Let's talk about LBRY.
First of all, Banana Yams. Graphic Productions is absolutely the way we're going to get Sphere of the Lycanthrope 2 and a bunch of other David's ideas and all of that back on screen. Aaron Stepien, question 1. Any regulations? No, it's a completely decentralized platform. You just add it into their blockchain network, and they've created the front end ability to monetize how the content is consumed. You can do video on demand. You can watch it online. You can download it onto your device, and it works kind of like Napster used to back in the day. So if you buy a copy of it or you download it and all of that, it exists on everybody's drives at the exact same time. I think you have the option of whether you keep it stored offline or whether you just want to consume it and then have it disappear off your hard drive on all of that stuff. But BitChute and all those other ones, those are all corporate run platforms. They've all got rules, they've all got guidelines, they've all got like speech censorships that's based on their ability to sell ad revenue. There is no ad plan and ad revenue plan for LBRY. Their revenue stream comes from the use and the adoption of the utility coin and the selling of back end when the user puts, like, I think right now it's one LBRY token to upload a video onto their platform, which again is like 8/10 of a penny, and they've got a whole bunch of different ways to earn free LBRY tokens. So it's basically a tool that you can use, and how you use it is up to you. It's not a corporate platform is basically the easiest way to put it. It's a program, and it allows you to sell your content digitally, and they don't take any commission for it. Let's see, next question. Banana Yams. Do you have to buy the LBRY video once or every time you rewatch it? So it depends on what the creator has picked as a monetization option. On the back end, they can either set it to pay-per-view, so let's say one LBRY token equals 1 penny. And this is where they're trying to appeal to YouTube users. So a YouTube user, even the power users with the huge view counts and all of that, only get 10ths of a penny per view for their ad revenue. But if the YouTuber could charge a penny per view, they would be making multiple times more on the revenue stream than they're currently making off of the YouTube ad split. So their goal is to get YouTubers to come over there and charge a penny per view to watch the content as their suggested price. But you can also do it for a digital download. Like I can sell my movie for $5, and once you've bought the movie, you downloaded the file and you own the file. And then there's your own ad stream revenue, which is a later thing that would probably have to wait until you have your own app, because they don't have ad revenue in there. And the way it's set up and decentralized, I don't see any possibility for it to be there in the future. Okay. There's all right.
We're going to move on to the next topic. I teased it enough. All right. Dun 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 dun.
Aaron Stepien. That's the LBRY is the exact platform you want to put that offensive video on. There's no censorship to it. It's a decentralized blockchain network. I think you agree not to put like child porn or anything on that when you agree to use the blockchain, but like
general, don't be a dirtbag.
Yeah. These people are from Sweden. They totally built this on an altruist system. Believe me, I've tried to talk to them on numerous occasions, and they're almost too altruist for their own good.
Altruistic,
fine, that too, for their own good. But yeah, they built the entire thing just for artists and creators to be able to sell their digital content without any kind of censorship, restriction, commission, any of that stuff.
Okay, so we're getting into the Epstein stuff, and we're gonna answer my question. Do you still think that he's dead?
I never thought he was dead in the first place. I absolutely never thought he was dead in the first place. The fact that they showed a body in the press makes me more suspicious than anything else that's ever happened in this entire saga. Like, when do they show us a body? Did they show us a body of Osama bin Laden? They show us the body of this other guy, this terrorist that they killed recently and dumped. When have they ever shown the bad guy's body?
Hitler.
No, absolutely they did not.
Now remember, they have the pictures of this guy is supposed to be Hitler, and then everyone's like, I don't think that was actually him. It didn't quite look right.
No, they had a jaw or some goofy ass thing, but no, they didn't even have pictures because that was the whole thing. Nobody knew if he was actually dead or not. They never ever show the bad guy. And the fact that they did is completely out of protocol and raises every red flag in the book.
Okay. Can I show the video?
Yes.
Yay! I get to show my video.
Remember to stop at the right spot.
I don't know when that is, but I'm sure you'll tap on me.
I'll tell you.
Alright. I'm going to shut us up so you all can hear this.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
All right, dear. I'm going to let you run the lead on this one, and you tell me how we're going to attack and dive in.
I don't like her company she works for. We're going to go at it that way.
Well, as we're going to get to, mainstream media is all one. They're all together. They all collude.
The idea that they all were okay with this, that they wanted to interview the prince and his new bride. Are you kidding me? That mattered more than the pedophilia rings that were going on different continents.
I'm more surprised they let her get that far with the story in the first place. How about that?
Like, she even said they had stuff on the Clintons.
Of course they did. You can't get down any of these rabbit holes 2 feet without stumbling across the Clintons. It's unbelievable how they're at the end of every tunnel.
Like, it breaks my heart how sincere she is about the entire frustration of having worked this hard on something. She got a woman to come out of hiding and actually tell the story, and then it gets squashed like it's no big deal. It didn't disrupt everybody's lives. It's not anything that's going to give everyone nightmares who had to work on it for years about all that. And now they have to look at their bosses with absolutely no respect whatsoever.
As somebody that has been saying Epstein is the linchpin to everything since literally 2011 at least, like, I've been shouting that name forever.
Yes, you have.
You want to know all the shit in this world? Follow that rabbit hole. Here's the thing that I absolutely just makes my heart sing. Every time I go on the internet now, there's all these different memes. Da-da-da-da-da-da, Epstein didn't kill himself. Da-da-da-da-da, a whale has the largest penis in the entire world, but everybody knows Epstein didn't kill himself. And my cousin's husband in Pennsylvania is shared every single possible meme in existence of these Epstein didn't kill himself things, and they're fantastic. It's like this long, winding, obscure fact full of text, and it says, "But everybody knows Epstein didn't kill himself." And there's just so many good ones. But
Okay, so
what do you think about the girl they hunted down?
that's where we're going next. Obviously, ABC is not happy that this video that was taken, that was recorded, of one of their anchors venting as she is rightful to do if she wants to, and it wasn't supposed to be an actual interview or anything like that. This was off screen or off camera, what have you. She has every right to say what she wants. The problem comes when ABC decides they call it whistleblowing, leaking. Instead of it being gossip, instead of it being where they could have spun it as an anchor being angry that she didn't get the first dig on it, she didn't get the cover story. No, her sincerity is that they forced her to cover it up and play along with it, continuing it even longer than it should have been. Then they decide that they're going to go after whoever the leaker is. That's where they turn into the really bad guy. Like, they immediately went from a corporation to an evil corporation. When you start hunting people down...
And on an assumption.
Because the truth is coming out.
On an assumption. Not even like we know for sure this is the person that does it. Oh, this person might have done it, and they're at the other network now, and still got them fired in less than 24 hours on the assumption that's the person that did it. So I don't know. There's I'm sure some people that aren't fully up to date here. The suspected whistleblower, ABC believed was now working at CBS News, this former employee. So they contacted CBS, and CBS willingly, instead of telling them to go fuck themselves and say, dude, do your job, do you guys' job right, they went and immediately went and fired this person on the suspicion they might have been the leaker for ABC. This is just sheer blatant collusion that is completely...
Isn't it almost the opposite of journalism? You're supposed to tell the truth. It's
100% firing somebody without cause. Like, there's so many lawsuits that come into play there. But like anyone that's shocked that ABC and CBS and all these companies all wash each other's hands and play nice, you're insane. This collusion trickled all the way down to the payment processing department on when you ask for a raise. They won't give you a raise because each job position is capped based on how much that job position gets paid at the other networks. And they all use each other as the excuse on why they can't give more money to a role to keep it capped and to slow wage growth. The collusion, top to bottom, up and down.
Okay, so they tried to find the leaker.
Yeah.
And
Fired this poor girl. And dude, that's the amazing part. They thought it was a girl. In the Me Too era, they didn't give a shit. They still wanted to send a message. And they make no mistake. This wasn't for you. This wasn't for me. This was for the people that work at CBS, the people who work at ABC, people that work in the industry that know damn well that person got fired. That hear from their friends, their networks, their little groups within the industry that person got hunted down and fired. That's fear tactics for everybody else.
Mm-hmm. That is an example being made.
I don't care if you're gone and at the other network, we will still hunt you down and fire you and ruin your career. And here's the best part.
Was it today that it was released?
There,
Yesterday? Today?
last couple days.
Open letter from the leaker.
The whistleblower. They're still working at ABC. They're still in the hen house.
Yep. They apologize not to the company, not to the fellow employees who were dragged through the mud and some fired, but
they're not responsible for the
Rush.
actions of the revenge-taking corporation.
They didn't force them to take revenge. They didn't make them do anything even worse than their already previous actions. And the only person they are sorry to is the anchor woman, who has now gotten a ton of flack. A ton of flack about it, too. Which, that alone, why she should ever be in trouble for saying the truth, they're just lucky she didn't say it while on air.
It just amazes me that we all know it. We all know that whether he's alive or dead, we all know he didn't hang himself. Well, what are we going to do about it? Even if we protest in the streets for days on end, like they're doing over in Hong Kong, what's going to change? What are we going to do about it? Yeah. So that to me is the arrogance of it. Is the part that's so blatant. Even this video basically proves everything everybody's been saying. Everybody knows. Horrible shit. Lots of big names. Super powerful people are pulling strings behind the scenes to bury and kill stories. This is like, I'm sorry, but the Me Too can only be taken so seriously when like the fucking mother load of shit is spilling all over the place and there's no unified outrage here.
You know, there's going to be the point where they're going to say, what would have made a difference if she would have said the story when she wanted to? Instead of being told to hold it longer than necessary and then having to kill it, what if she would have just told the story when she first had it? And you know what the difference would have been? How many different children and women would not have been sexually abused and sold into slavery and possibly died? How many men wouldn't have gotten away with even more crimes?
Really though, or would it just kept going with somebody else with a different name and place?
Might have been a different name and place, but it wouldn't have been the people he was targeting. It wouldn't have been the people lined up that he had planned.
Because this doesn't seem like well, we stopped a serial killer, so all the people the serial killer killed would have not gotten hurt. This sounds like a machine that he was just one of the operators of the machine, and the machine was going to keep operating either way, with or without him. And what's being protected is the machine.
Are we ever going to hear the story that she had? Like the actual story and all the facts that she had collected? Or is ABC going to collect them now and then burn them in their waste disposal down in the basement, so we don't know all the other people they had discovered who were part of that? Who were actually in league with him the entire time making that possible? She said she had stuff on the Clintons. She had to have more than on the other people around there who are also right now, because no one knows them, able to get away with continuing to do this.
So I teased the show with how much has really changed. Harvey's still partying and gotten actresses hanging off of him in public. If actresses are still hanging off of him in public, what are actresses still doing behind the scenes that are hoping nobody's ever going to know that they kissed up to Harvey? Just like all the current actresses that did do it are hoping forever that nobody knows that they took the deal. So if that's still happening, Epstein, everybody knows. And still, the machine that he served is still being protected. What has changed? We know a little more information. We're a little more aware of what's going on. But the machine is still grinding up children. Harvey's still dancing in the streets. His brother's back in business. Like, That's the thing that kills me now. The older I get, I've got enough time to keep stepping back farther and farther and seeing cycles more and more and cycles more and more. And you realize how easy it is to just ride out the cycle. Oh, I'm a cannibalistic pedophile? Okay. You guys could be angry at me and pissed off at me this week. Next week you'll love me again because a different storyline will come out. Oh, I'm a woman-beating horrible person that got kicked out of the NFL? Oh, I'll just sit out a couple months, get paid anyway. Then I'll come back on a different team, and the crowd will cheer me. And ooh, it just, I don't know, man. How's anyone supposed to give a shit when there's no consequences to the worst horrible stuff? And I'm supposed to what? I'm supposed to respect your authority when you pull me over and want to give me a speed limit ticket? A speeding ticket? I'm going 65 and 55 and you want to bust my nuts? Meanwhile, freaking the whole world's a cesspool of extreme entitlement?
I don't think you can get away with the Epstein argument to the cop.
But this is how
I find that being difficult.
But that see on a micro scale you find that difficult. But in a social studies macro scale, this stuff has been
that's the mentality you can have, but you can't really argue that.
No, this is what is being argued right now. This is what befalls empires. This is what undermines the rule of law. This is what seeps into the common people where fuck, they're not being held accountable for anything. Nobody gives a shit about anything anymore. The lack of respect for fellow man takes place. Freaking criminal behavior becomes rampant. Deviant behavior skyrockets. This all starts when people aren't held accountable to the most atrocious crimes in humanity. How can anyone look somebody in the eye and you want to hold me accountable for petty bullshit that's just going to take money out of my pocket when horrifying acts of depravity go unchecked? It rots society to the core.
Anything from our chatters? Or did you just knock them all out with that?
Aaron Stepien says, so much of the Harvey stuff with Me Too is, and I'm sorry, but it's kid in the morning after regrets. I think there's some of that in there, but I think there's also a whole lot of people that just didn't want to trade sex for opportunity. And they were basically bullied into take it or leave it.
Yeah. I think there are quite a few that are afraid of how much they've given up and probably burned as many bridges behind them to get to Hollywood, that when they were even up against that request, quid pro quo, if you say, what have you, that they probably said yes, but really felt like screaming no, just because the idea of saying no meant that they might as well pack it up and go home, because a million doors just shut to you.
Aaron Stepien says, study the falls of the Byzantine and Roman empires. You'll see the same patterns. Yeah,
did you see that Bloomberg said that he might run to...
I don't see that on my...
no, I'm just bringing it up.
On my schedule.
Because it's all in the Hell's Bells section. Hell's fucking bells. Talking about empires falling. Well, as a Democrat, no less.
Let's get this piece of shit off the screen behind us.
Fucking hell.
And move on to our Discord questions.
We kind of answered it. So Sam asked us, did we believe that Epstein killed himself? And just leave it alone.
Yeah, put the Discord question.
You just
title card up.
Oh, chill it. And we kind of already answered that. Do you believe that Epstein killed himself?
No. I 100% don't.
I don't think he could have.
Yeah, one way or the other. I think
the way that they tried to say it all went down is so made up that a kid would get caught with that story.
Yeah, I'm just tired of the B grade movie storylines and plot points that we're supposed to continue to take hook, line, and sinker. Oh, the guards didn't check during their watch that night. What a coincidence!
There was no way they were doing that unless they were told to look the other way at that present moment.
Multiple cameras didn't work that night. What a surprise. And then here's the other part is they know too. They know that we're all such jaded fucks at this point that to be like, listen, New York State, man, it's a broke country, it's a broke state. Cameras break. We don't have the money to fix this stuff. And everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, yeah, New York State's a broke state. They probably did have some broken ass cameras there. And here's the insane part. It wouldn't shock me one bit if those cameras were broken. But even if they were broken, that's more to the freaking point. But
of all places in the jail, those should have been the ones that were working.
So, and again, like to me, I'm not taking any political sides here on any of this stuff. But it happened under certain people's watch. And this to me is one of the most important prisoners this country may have ever had in their history since that damn turncoat in freaking the Civil War. Burr? Was it Burr? Is Burr the turncoat?
Aaron Burr?
Yeah.
Benedict Arnold.
Benedict Arnold. There's that scumbag.
I don't think it was Aaron Burr.
No, I think Aaron Burr was the one that might have shot him in a duel.
I don't know.
But yeah, Benedict Arnold, that scumbag.
Though.
So the fact that Epstein wasn't on a freaking submarine doing circles with some of our finest military personnel until we took him to trial, he should have reported to the trial from the submarine. That would have been an uncomfortable
cell. Fuck. A submarine is not comfortable. You bang your head on shit. There's constantly pipes everywhere.
But the fact this guy wasn't under armed security at all times, that we weren't prepared for like an Ocean's 11 style heist to whack this guy.
Jacket? Like if they were claiming beforehand, like a week or two before, that he was trying to kill himself, shouldn't his ass have been in a straitjacket where he just
submarine doing circles?
That's the
in
way
the
it goes,
Atlantic.
dude. You're gonna be drinking Jamba Juice for your meals for a while. Might taste a little meaty.
I don't give a shit if you made a deal with Elon Musk and sent him up to the freaking space station for 6 months. Just whatever.
Well, everything got figured out.
To just be sitting there in New York City.
Yeah. That was asking for it.
Yeah, every which way there, that's shady.
And now we know he was just taken away and he's back on Pedophile Island in his panic room. That's all. You know he's back on his island and he's chilling.
But okay, so
like the villain that he is.
So here's where projecting these things out, it depends on how many rabbit holes you want to blend together and make one giant black hole. Because now, if you believe that Epstein is a Mossad agent or some super spy or some evil cog in the wheel of this global empire of pedophilia, blackmail, and ritual sex sacrifices, if you believe all of this stuff is now in play with Epstein, then you also have to at least consider or take into consideration the possibility that the breakaway civilizations are in fact in play and in existence, and all these different type of scenarios that spin off of the evil deep state are also in fact potentially accurate and true. So I don't know if the deep state already has a breakaway civilization. Okay, Jeffrey, your time serving the machine down with the regular folks is done. Now you can go hang out with the big boys at the freaking breakaway civilization. That's the retirement community for the deep state.
There was an episode of X-Files like that.
Well, it's almost a reverse Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah. Cigarette smoking man takes Mulder over to go see, gives him the chance where he could live the life instead of having to chase the alien dream. He could just live the safe life now that he kind of pretty much knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very exciting. Everything chases after X-Files.
So, dead or alive, he definitely didn't kill himself.
There we go. Agreed.
All right.
Let's blitz the bullets.
You want to go first or second, dear?
I will go second.
Okay. The hashtag, and then I was fired, is trending. Excuse me. I would like you to tell me about a time that ended, and then I was fired.
I was working at a store in Hollywood as the manager, and about 3 or 4 months in, the co-owners realized that they both couldn't be skimming the register, and still pay, vendors and bills.
What type of store was this?
None of your business. And anyway, so they asked me if I
Seems like it's in an
would
unsavory industry.
take a third cut paycheck, 3%, and also work about 12 hours more than I currently was. So I was still going to be making less, working more hours than I was at the current point, but still be manager. And when I told them that wouldn't work for me, and then I was fired. Yes.
All right.
Yours?
I was the reigning employee of the month at Blockbuster and had just completed a back-to-back opener and close shift that ended with an all-night bender at the casino with my manager. And when we reported for the following shift the next morning, at the end of the shift, I had to report to the back room and was told my drawer was off by $3.85, which was 35 cents more than the cutoff limit, and then I was fired.
Who were you told that by?
By the manager that I had partied with for the last 24 hours straight. He cried.
He couldn't just put the money in
He
your
was on the
drawer.
phone with corporate.
Like, before you call corporate, if he cares that much, he couldn't just take $2 out of his own pocket and just say you're missing $1.80 somehow.
He was a really nerdy by the book guy, and he was even on the phone with
Couldn't
corporate.
even give you the option of putting $3 in there before he called.
Yeah, I was stunned myself.
Wow, pretty cold. Okay,
My
my turn.
All right, well, we got a quick question from the audience.
Oh. Well,
Cookie Carl's Clown Shoe Emporium asks, please tell us more about their breakaway civilization. Is it underground or what? See, I don't...
Oh, see, you act like you know it all.
No.
Now you gotta tell all the secrets. Tell them all.
Cookie Carl, I don't want to give too much of the plot of my book away. But I believe that the underground bunkers are a stopgap on the way to building an off-planet or discovering an off-planet location where they can actually build their breakaway civilization. I don't think we're to the extreme ends of the conspiracy theory where there's teleports to Mars and all of that different stuff. I think we actually came from Mars and abandoned that planet after we fucked that one all up, and we're in the middle of doing the same damn thing all over again. And the elites have their bunkers ready to withdraw if shit hits the fan before they can find their way off this rock. But the entire plan is to keep searching and finding a backup planet that they can at least start establishing a breakaway civilization. And it'll probably be 2 planets of civilizations before we ever find out that we're going to start an off-world colony. That's my opinion on the breakaway civilization. And this is all based on the fact that if I had a shitload of money, what would I do with it? I would absolutely be trying to put together some sort of breakaway civilization to get the hell out of here if it all goes to shit.
Okay.
All right, you're up.
In honor of Veterans Day today, we kind of answered part of this question already. Are there any vets in your family? And do you remember any stories that they told you about when they were in service?
No.
No stories or no
So
vets?
my dad's brother was in the Navy, which is where I got creeped out on the idea of submarines, because I remember growing up he was in submarines all the time. My grandpa was a drill instructor. I think my other grandfather actually might have been in the Navy as well. I feel like I remember him wearing Navy hats on top of that. But no good war stories. Never got the goods. Kooky Carl's Clown Shoes has a follow-up question.
Yes.
Where can I read your book? The book is called Hallowed Be Thy Name, and it is in the final editing stages. To be honest with you, I have to write one additional chapter to balance out my timelines, and I have avoided like the plague writing this fill-in chapter to my main story and my secondary stories need to merge together, but one of them has more time happening than the other one has, so I have to fill in the space for the other one so they can get to the same point in time. But I don't know, let's put a deadline on it, Kooky Carl. I'm going to have it ready for the spring for you. If you'd actually like to read the first chapter, which I actually think is pretty damn good, if you go to Wattpad and look up Gratwick on Wattpad or Hallowed Be Thy Name on Wattpad, you can read the first chapter of
What's
the book.
it called?
Wattpad. Wattpad. Give it a little star and a follow, and I'll keep gradually adding chapters there every time I get 100 followers on Wattpad.
It's like you're a radio announcer when you say it like that.
Dave says that
You're
sometimes
doing
too.
the
Aaron Stepien says, my grandfather was in 5 major campaigns in World War II, and my dad served 2 tours in Vietnam.
Damn. Many, many thanks to them.
Yeah, respect goes out to them. They've earned their Veterans Day, my friend. All right.
Okay, your turn.
I'm up? All right.
Yep.
Earlier this week, a gender reveal backfired spectacularly when a plane that was charged with carrying 350 gallons of pink water discharged its water and then promptly crashed shortly after. My question for you, dear, is when is the time in your life where the best of intentions have gone horribly wrong?
Every time. Every time I have the best of intentions, it goes badly. That's why I try not to do very many things, if possible. Oh, okay, so one time, Mom and Dad were gone, and they were grocery shopping, and my sister, who's 3 years older than me, was supposed to be babysitting, but technically so was the neighbor girl, who was 3 years older than my sister, supposed to be watching all of us, generally. So, of course, the 2 older girls go off and do their own thing. The boy from across the street comes at me and my little brother with a snake. And so my brother goes in the house. I try and shut the door. The boy's trying to get in. I finally get in. He locked the door. He starts opening up the window to put the snake in, like taking out the screen from the outside. No one's around. No adults around. He's not listening. Best of intentions, I call the police. I call the police and say, they gotta come over here and tell him to knock it the hell off because he's not listening. Like, they can hear me yelling where I'm like, I'm talking to the police and they say you have to stop. And he's like, Yeah, so they don't come to the street, but my parents find out and I get in trouble. So, yeah, he never got in trouble for it. I got in trouble instead. Best of intentions. And I'm the one who gets in trouble. All the time.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
What about you? Best of intentions?
Real quick, Aaron Stepien asked, what is a gender reveal party?
When someone is pregnant and everybody's all, ooh,
They
is it
want
a boy
attention.
or is it a girl? Oh, you force an extra party to get even more presents than you're already getting for the shower and for when the baby comes and the first time they see the baby. You know how you give a ton of presents to them? Yeah. It's one more extra way of getting more stuff and forcing everyone to eat bad cake. So
You
things will either be pink or blue.
Yeah. So basically you reveal the gender in some weird, goofy, spectacular way.
Fun way. It's an activity.
The normal way that it started from was if it's a pink strawberry cake, when they cut the cake, it's a girl. If it's a chocolate cake, it's a boy.
If the gum cigars are blue or pink.
Yeah, then they started cranking it up a
balloons
notch. Then there was there's balloons that you pop, and if the smoke from the balloon is blue, it's a boy. If the smoke from the balloon is pink, it's a girl.
It's
And
all the many creative ways of saying, will we be having a boy or a girl, so you all know what more to buy us and what sex.
Yeah. And these are probably going to get even more extravagant now that we're adding all sorts of different extra genders and stuff.
Well, there was the fire in Arizona that started from a gender reveal, and it was an off-duty officer, no less, had a party in his backyard, which looks like it's just all brush.
Of course, the fireman had
drier
to do some
than
sort of fire
dry
reveal.
brush, and he has this box that's set to explode. And it'll have the smoke either be blue or be pink. And then you will know if it's a boy or a girl. So what happens? It explodes and all the brush around it starts on fire. And a huge fucking Arizona fire started from a gender reveal trick.
All firemen are secretly pyros. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, we are not talking about the movie Backdraft. Okay.
About that little guy.
My turn.
All right.
When you lose something, are you more frustrated if it's something you wrote down on a piece of paper or something you're pretty sure you saved on the cloud, in the cloud, whatever, on an electronic. You're pretty sure you either typed it somewhere and saved it somewhere, but you don't remember the name, or you put it down on a piece of paper. Which are you more frustrated when it happens?
If I write something on a piece of paper, it's almost always a scrap piece of paper, usually a sideways envelope. And if I write something on such a piece of paper, I automatically assume I'm most likely never going to see it again after I've written it down. I'm simply hoping that the sheer act of writing it down is going to help me remember it more easily. If I put something on that motherfucking cloud,
Hey, Greg.
and I don't see it there, then I freak out. It better be there. It drives me nuts when it's supposed to sync to the devices. Oh, it got caught syncing to the devices and now it's corrupted and it doesn't open it all. So now you got to retype the whole damn thing out. Yeah. Oh, I get real upset when technology doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
And how long do you keep looking for it before you admit defeat? Like, will you actually spend, like, you will stop what you're doing and you will sit down and now you will be looking. Now it is time to start looking and do the search in your Google Drive, all that stuff where you're trying to think of what it might have been, even though it was probably an untitled document. How long are you going to be searching for that?
Well, I mean, if it's papers, then long enough to go through all the papers that are within arm's reach. If it's
arm's reach time.
If
okay.
it's digital,
paper gets arm's reach.
If it's digital, then as long as it takes to search the keywords that I know that are in play.
Okay. All right.
What about you? Aaron Stepian's got stick-it pads all over his house.
I was going to say paper. Like, we have notebooks. And I like writing things down in notebooks because it's bound together. It'll stay. And what happened today? I lost an entire notebook. An entire notebook from this summer, which I'm pretty sure was from August. Around August 12th was the day that I did the work because I have one list and I know I made a second list. And I wrote it all down in the notebook first and then I typed it all into a spreadsheet. Whatever, dude. It's fine if I didn't get around to typing the second spreadsheet, but I know I had the second freaking list and I can't find it anywhere and an entire notebook is missing. And I know what color it is. I know how it should look and it doesn't look like the other ones we have. It bothers me. There's something physically missing. I don't mind if an electronic file is gone, whatever. It gets corrupted. The airwaves of Wi-Fi go weird. That's how Kris does paper notes.
Dude, look at this envelope. It is perfectly in list format.
You see that? Without the lights all shining it out.
It's long. It's in narrow list format.
You know what
it's
that
perfect.
also means? All the junk mail
here.
I can't throw away because I don't know what lists he does and does not need. And if I throw something away and he does need it, then I'm fucked. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when he says he's electronic...
Around here, you throw out scrap paper, you're throwing out genius.
So many of these things. So many. So many. Such a waste. All right. So that's all I got.
That brings us to the end.
That does bring us to the end, and it is 7:15. Hi, Greg. Thank you for joining us.
The return of
Any
our song.
Last words from our friends?
Most printers have a scanner. Might want to archive your paper notebooks.
I know, and we do have a scanner one too.
That's so well prepared and forward thinking of you, Aaron Stepian.
Oh, I have a feeling that's going to have to be one of those things that's done for like the office for all the official papers.
See, here's the problem that she runs into with said type of thing. For any modern person, they'd be able to scan it in, it'd be able to ingest that, convert it into text, be good to go. But Andrea is one of the few brave souls that is still 100% committed to pushing through with cursive. So
I was taught cursive.
All of her notebooks
Why wouldn't I use
are
it?
filled with cursive.
That only I can read because it's my own chicken scratch.
Yeah.
So good luck on that. I've got my own form of like ancient Samaritan. Yeah.
Once again,
Samaritan.
proving that I was one of the first millennials. I never bought into the cursive wagon. I knew how to write cursive, I did, but even when I wrote letters and notes, it was always faster for me to print than it was to write in cursive.
You're telling me your school allowed you when you had to write papers to hand it in printed and not written in cursive because everything was in cursive?
I am not talking about mandatory writing assignments. I am talking about when I was a free dolphin out in the ocean, free to swim however I so choose. I never ever voluntarily wrote in cursive. Didn't buy it. I knew it was a passing fad.
Not a passing fad.
It absolutely was a passing fad. They don't even teach cursive anymore. Like, it's a dead language.
Like Latin?
Yeah, it just hasn't had as much years of dust built on top of it. But yeah, cursive is done.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll keep using it because then it makes it a
And
secret
that's why
language for
nobody
me.
under 40 can read what the hell you're writing. And the people over 40 can barely read it because it's sloppy cursive.
Whatever, dude. Leonardo da Vinci wrote his shit backwards, too. Everyone's got their own secret style, am I right?
Yeah, well, you're going to be one of the last souls on Earth writing in cursive.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I will be. Sounds great.
That's the crazy old cat lady that writes everything in this weird squiggly lines. I don't know what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just looks like she's mad. Yeah.
Dude.
See, Kooky Carl's Clown Show Emporium knows cursive was always stupid.
I didn't say it was easy. Didn't say that, but I enjoy it.
Dead language.
Barbecue.
Alright, this is a dead episode.
Okay.
Let's bring it in for an ending, put it out of its misery.
Alright, then.
Oh, we've got some freaking Snowfall to watch. We finally got on the Snowfall wagon for you long-time listeners, first-time viewers. Snowfall. How
Makes
far are we
me
in?
sad.
Oh, you love it. You love Snowfall.
Makes me sad.
How far in are we?
In the first season, halfway.
Well, through episode 5, 6, somewhere around there.
Makes me sad.
Let's go. Let's go watch the Snowfall, honey.
Makes me sad. I feel bad for his mom.
Aaron Stepien is asking, next show, date, time?
Mondays.
Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat. There was
Mondays,
There was always a
6.
third one.
Every week. Unless,
Yeah.
like last week.
Last week was a special Wednesday episode.
That was his bad.
I was coming home from Vegas.
Totally his
Procrastinated on the
bad.
subject
No, we
matter.
actually slept through that one. Like, we were asleep on the couch. That was a hard sleep.
Tomorrow night, State of
Say,
Mind.
State of Mind.
7:30 Pacific Standard Time, State of Mind. And Friday, the return of Mr. Medicare on State of Mind. Me, David, and Mr. Medicare, Jim, are going to be talking about friggin' UFOs.
Is he going to be in studio, or is he going to be on the show?
Fingers crossed, and don't tell David this, I'm hoping he's not still watching. The Grid Fam is going to be rolling out their update in the next day or so for us. And it'll be all good
Well,
to go.
you're buddies with the Grid Fam dudes. Just get a hold of them.
I
and
did.
ask them
And they
what's
told
up.
me in the next couple days they're rolling out the update, and we should be good to go by Friday's show.
Well, you'd like them to have the tweaks worked out by Friday's show, not it's on by Friday's show.
Yeah, well, that's why I said fingers crossed.
Or are you guys going to be their guinea pigs?
We're gonna be good to go by Friday. I have full faith in the Grid Fam guys that have been trying to get this straight for over a year now.
Well, once they do, we can finally have Emily's corner back too.
Oh, dude, Emily
We
just got
gotta
back from
hear
Vegas.
about- I
We
know,
didn't hear about
like,
the whole Vegas trip.
We have the gigantic trip, the Donnie
Right.
and Marie. Oh yeah.
Are you gonna come hang out with us Friday for the UFO episode?
I am hoping to be working. Gotta pay that rent, baby. Gotta pay that rent.
You should have said if I don't get abducted.
If I don't get abducted.
Well, you can't recycle the pun now. Start the song, dear. Put this show out of its misery.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.